I'm Mark Rodgers. I'm the writer, producer, composer for the Nikola Tesla Light It Up rock opera.
Jason Nelson, principal member of the Jason Nelson Band, performing Nikola Tesla Light It Up at Delmar Hall.
Delmar Hall. And I'm Logan Janis, your host here of Mostly Superheroes, independent podcast. Since 2020, here we are in 2026, that debut concert, a rock opera, June 20th. You just heard it coming into the show along with our host. Guys, welcome to the show. Big applause for you guys. Roaring right now. It's roaring. I'll start with you, Jason. How you doing, man?
I have a classic alternative rock and new wave cover band called 120 Minutes. And we just 2 months ago stood up a new cover band called Stifler's Mom. It's a 90s cover band. So things are great in that regard. I have tribute shows. The two worlds, the cover band and tribute band worlds, are in St. Louis. They're separate. I found that the tribute shows I do are really special events, which is a different type of audience. So I do tributes to Queen and The Who and Led Zeppelin and the Ramones and REM, The Cure, Radiohead, Sting, Peter Gabriel, NXS, U2. Starting a new one, I'll do a Beatles tribute coming up this year. But I'm most excited about being asked by Mark Rodgers to be the lead vocalist for Nikola Tesla Light It Up at Delmar Hall.
Well, that's really actually how we met. And that is really cool, because we were running our off-Broadway show up in New York, the Da Vinci Michelangelo Experience, and then COVID shut us down, and then we had to come back. You can't be in New York and not have any money, so we got back here to St. Louis, and we were hanging out here. We were planning our next move, and I was actually I wanted to. The Da Vinci Michelangelo show was about the conflict between Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Most people don't know about them, that they hated each other. They're total opposites of each other, and the thing I found out about it was a huge Tesla fan from the very beginning. And I started looking, I said, but I understood there was a big conflict between him and Edison. And I thought, this is really cool. I got to investigate this some more. So anyway, I began to look into it. And, I found out, I got to be honest with you, this Thomas Edison, he was not a nice guy, man. And he treated Tesla absolutely terrible. But anyway, I was writing this, and I decided to make the whole song, actually it was a musical about Tesla, because his story, the more I found him, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but every one of his stories in his life was so incredible. But anyway, we were back here after COVID, and the bars were starting to get opened up again, and I was out in West County with my girlfriend, and we were just looking for something to do one night. And obviously, we love live music, and I played in the cover bands, and my whole life. We actually went out to L.A. when I got out of college to try to get a record deal, and we said, let's go. We heard there was this band, this Queen band, playing at this venue out in West County. We said, well, let's go by and check it out. What else are we doing? And so we went in and we bought this ticket. We ordered tickets. We sat down, and it was a Queen show. And I had no idea who Jason Nelson was, but I knew the name Queen, obviously. And we're just sitting there, and the show opens up, and it comes out, and Mr. Entertainment St. Louis comes out and blows the roof off the place. And I'm going, I couldn't believe it. I said, this is in St. Louis? This is, the show was so polished, and he was so good, and they had costumes on and all this kind of stuff. So about halfway through the set, and I look over, and my girlfriend and I were both amazed, and I look over and I said, Sherry, I said, do you know who that guy is? And she looked at me, she goes, I know exactly who he is. I said, well, who is he? He goes, he is your Nikola Tesla. And I said, you're absolutely right. Of course he is. Woo-hoo. So we waited around after the show, and we kind of hung back, and because he was at the end of the show, he's walking around signing autographs and taking pictures with everybody and all that good stuff, and we're just hanging back, and everybody kind of went away, and I walked up to him and said, "Hey, Jason," I said, "My name is Mark Rodgers. You don't know who I am, but I was a theatrical producer. We do these off-Broadway shows. We travel around the country doing this one." But anyway, I said, "I've been writing, and my brother and I have been writing this musical about Nikola Tesla, and about this, and Jason looked a little perplexed. He goes, "Well, yeah, why you tell me about this?" And I said, "Because I want you to be my Nikola Tesla." And without hesitation, he didn't hear any of the music. He didn't hear anything. And he said, "I am in." So that's exactly how we met and how we brought all this together.
That's amazing.
No
And
hesitation. I mean,
you were ready
was
to
all
go.
in.
What hooked you right then?
His enthusiasm. And for me, that's everything. I don't tend to say no to much
You're a yes man.
because it's always served me well through the years. So I explore, I have new experiences, it's enriching somehow, some way. And in the musical space, I have this organic confidence in not only myself, but the people I play with, that I can bring anything to them, and we can rock it.
Who are some of those people that you're rocking with in the band?
So the drummer, Alonzo Jameson,
Wow.
the bass player's Richard Mendoza,
And he is incredible.
the guitar player Austin Sprague, the keyboard player's name Charlie Brown. We have a violinist by the name of Mark Hochberg. And then Stacy Rios is my female lead vocalist. She also plays cello, guitar, and mandolin.
Wow.
And it was perfect because when I went to him and I said to him, because I grew up here in St. Louis. I mean, I went to CBC, went to St. Louis University, and I know most of the musicians here in town. And then I thought, well, I'm just got to start, calling each one and see who's up and who's not. And I called it to Jason, and Jason said, "Mark, you call the right number." Because I have everybody. And I went, "Oh my God!" It was just unbelievable. But he's expanding from his normal gigs,
Right.
like down at the Chase. He's down at the Chase of the Night, blew the place up, blew the roof off the place. It's usually for like 4 or 5, but we're expanding to a 7-piece orchestra that night.
Yeah.
And they are going to hear a wall of sound.
Oh, yeah.
And this is accompanying the lyrics that you wrote.
Yes, and music.
And the music that you composed.
Yes.
And you also came up and designed the visuals,
Yes.
which are cinematic and create that immersive experience of the visuals, the band. And I also was telling you outside the house, the studio, the very nice studio.
It's gorgeous down there.
Yes.
In fact,
I didn't mean to say house.
we're not leaving. We're not leaving
very
here.
nice.
I was said, like, I think you've tapped right into what I'm craving, what people are craving. A rock show opera it's like a true story. It's that true story of like a movie where you're like, you know what? Like, I think people are looking for that to learn something and have like your hair blown off.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely cerebral. Like, you're going to watch this and be like, oh.
But
it's literally electric, right? It's electric. Like I've seen, we played the promo before you came into this episode. We'll play it before you go out. If you guys call out any songs as we're chatting, the listener's going to hear those as we mix them in. We'll do like 30 seconds or so of the song that you call out.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. And what we want to bring in, this is an audio experience that our listeners are here for. And then linked on our episode page will be the videos so you can see what this show looks like and pictures of us here in the studio as well. So call out what you want, but I think you've tapped right into it. Delmar Hall, one of my all-time favorite venues, right next to the pageant, those partners for a long time. I got married at the Moonrise. Delmar's one of my favorite places. And
it's going to be intimate. It's going to be close, and it's going to be close enough.
The Delmar Hall style.
Yeah, there's only our first one. There's only 350 seats in it, so there's not a bad seat in the house. But we have this huge shrim behind it, and that curtain. And like you said, and actually, we want the videos to tell the story. I mean, along with Jason, because the cinematic videos are there's going to be really not a lot of words at all, at all, because
That's what the lyrics are for.
Right, the lyrics are for, and also we have it situated where it moves the storyline along. It begins off, and I'm so excited about this. Stacy Rios is the neatest thing about finding out about Tesla and reading about history. We'll talk a little bit about that at some of the different show stuff. But the one thing that I found out about that just absolutely blew me away was his mother. His mother, Georgina Duca, her nickname was Duca Tesla. She was an absolute genius. She had a photographic memory at that time in Serbia when he grew up, that she could read a page in a book or a poem in a book and be able to recite it by memory on the bat, right off the bat, or read a page and have it affixed to memory. She would invent forming materials, forming instruments, and around the house to make life easier. And so, when even Tesla, and later on in his life, that he said that that his mother was the one that gave him the inspiration and gave him, and that leads our songs. I know Jason, he's got a lot of songs to sing, but she leads him off, and she was truly the hand that rocked the cradle. And that first song rocks.
Born at midnight through a thundering tempest, a child of the storm, the midwife cried, "Oh no, he will be known as a child of light." I replied, "In the routine of performing the mechanics of living, I am apt to forget the inner child at my side. Stepping stones, a guide, a path I must give him to help him along his way in life. The ordinary will become the extraordinary. His reach will now exceed his grasp. The hand that rocked the cradle will rule the world at last. I must teach him to be kind, good, and honest, to help his fellow human beings. His greatest critic, a self-accounting to himself, to rely on his own judgment for everything. When he lingers for a moment too long, or pauses for more than an instant, he'll remember how he got to there from here. Unrelenting love, patience, practice, and commitment. The ordinary will become the extraordinary. His reach will now exceed his grasp. The hand that rocked the cradle will rule the world at last. The
Getting into the introduction of Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla. It's called,
and getting into some of his highlights that people know or don't know about him.
Yeah,
right?
Born Tesla. That's the one about his mother. But I guess we're talking about the coolest thing.
And I mean, just so you know, like we're coming right out of that song playing now because you've talked about it, the listeners heard it, and yeah, we're kind of talking about the life of Nikola Tesla as you see it in this order that is a story with the songs, right?
Absolutely.
I love that part. It's like this bookend of or what I always think of as a really great album, and you've got 13 original songs.
Yes.
And
if you don't, which is kind of cool, which actually is really cool, if you go to our website, and we have our song lyrics on there, but we also have another one that actually a very good friend of mine, Bill Ash, told me about. He runs the Classical Guitar Society here in St. Louis. He's one of my oldest and dearest friends. And he read the lyric book. He said, Mark, he says, these lyrics, I can know more what they mean. Because it took me 4 years to write it. I've read over 20 books on Nikola Tesla. In fact, I think I know more about Tesla now than I know about Leonardo da Vinci, if that's possible. But if you go to our website and go to Know the Score, and when they listen to the song, all songs are on all the streaming platforms. Wherever you go, just type in Mark Rodgers, Nikola Tesla, Light It Up. It'll go in and it'll tell the story behind each one, and some are a little tongue in cheek. Like the first one when he came, which is so cool. I mean, Nikola Tesla, he came over to New York on the boat, and he literally had 4 pennies in his pocket when he got off that boat, and he was walking around New York City, had nowhere to go, no idea, and no money. So how bad could that be, right? So he walks by this man's open shop. He's got this open shop, and he has all these electric motors in there, and none of them are working. So he walks in, Tesla walks in, and says to the guy, what are you doing? He goes, man, I can't get any of these machines working. So spent the afternoon there, got all of his machines working, and the guy gave him $50. And back at that time was a lot of money.
Sure, yeah, life-changing.
That was life-changing. And that got him going. And then he got hired by they met him at Edison. He actually worked for a short time at the Edison Electric Company over in Europe. And he said he came over. The head of the Edison Electric Company gave him a letter, and he said, "When I want you to go over to see Thomas Edison, and I want you when you go over there, you give him this letter, and you tell him I sent you." So he went over there to New York. He got in, and he got this meeting with Thomas Edison, and the letter said, I know 2 of the most incredible people in my life. You, Mr. Thomas Edison, and the other one is the man that just handed you that letter. And that was their first introduction, but they were oil and water. Edison was and Tesla took a ton of shots at him during his life. That he was basically self-taught. He was trial and error. That type of inventor he was. But Tesla had all the knowledge. He had all the education. He had everything. He could figure it out in his head before he wrote it down in his paper. And he even said that he was surprised Edison got as far as he did.
Wow. It's like a great rivalry.
A great rivalry. Then he, how that all ended, the greatest story. Well, I wrote that song called "Money and Imagination." And that's one of the 3rd or 4th songs in the rock opera. And it goes, and he needed the money. And he went to this guy, and the first line of the song is, why am I even talking to this guy? Who is this guy? What a jerk, what a pompous ass. He knows everything about everything, and if you don't believe him, just ask. And that was so that was the first line, and that is my, and it says, and you read like I said, you read the meaning behind the lyrics, that is my direct shot at Edison. That's my direct shot. And he goes, yeah, you know what? A deal's been made. I got to make the deal. The end will have to justify the means on this one. It's his money, and it's my imagination.
I can believe I'm even talking to this guy. What a jerk, what a pompous ass. He thinks he knows everything about everything. If you don't believe him, just ask. He fumbles through his theories, never sure what fits. He'll steal my ideas in a second and claim, hey, it's just biz. Why is this guy even talking to me? Oh, I know why. He wants to buy my inventions and tell the world
decision has been made. No more negotiations to be done. I'm now his silent partner, his hired gun. The end will have to justify the means on this one. It's his money and my imagination.
So I really tried to move the story along, you know.
Sure. And how was the research? Like, what was your research process like, and how long, and that kind of thing?
It was, well, like I said, I had 20 books. I read at least 20 books on him. And then I would go over, when I was writing, starting to get done, and say, oh, this is a great idea for a lyric, or this, whatever. I had it all written. I had my guitar and laying on my bed at night. And and my notes were all over the house, and they were all over the room. I had them hanging up. I had Scotch tape to the wall, and all those guys. Oh man, this one here, this one went here, this one there. But a lot of the songs in the quotes in the lyrics of the songs are direct quotes from Tesla, and it was it's just great. He believed that the numbers 3, 6, 9 rule the universe. Those are the three numbers that were there. In fact, whenever he went into a building, he would walk around it 3 times before he'd even walk into it. But anyway, when Wardenclyffe, one of the big songs from the show, and that never came to fruition, and J.P. Morgan backed him up, and he was going to bring, Tesla was going to bring free electric and energy to the world. And John Jacob Astor was his big friend, and he lost that backing when the Titanic went down. That when John went down to the Titanic, and he went to J.P. Morgan, and he gave him all this money to build Wardenclyffe, and he went out and he went out there to Wardenclyffe one day. J.P. Morgan did, and he saw this huge 187-foot tower and this kind of stuff, and the first thing he did was look over to Tesla, and he said, hey, where's the meter on this thing? And he says, what? Because there's no meter. We're getting free energy to the world. Mm-hmm. We're going to connect their entire world free like this. And he cut him off immediately. He cut him off, and he just did. And Tesla wrote him an impassioned letter, J.P. Morgan, and said, please don't cut it off. And in one of the lines in the letter he wrote, he said, to achieve a great result is one thing, but to achieve it at the right time is another. And I went, what a great line!
Yeah, that is a great line.
And so I combined the two. I went 3, 6, 9. We're living life by the numbers. To achieve a great result is one thing. To achieve it at the right time is another.
The 3-hour train ride from Midtown to Shoreham, on cliffs overlooking Long Island Sound. Then an hour-long carriage right through the countryside, transforming Wardenclyffe's farmer's field, where the next wonder of the world will be found. A wireless system for communication and power, a grand vision, a 187-foot wooden tower, a 55-ton steel sphere on top, covered with a thin layer of copper, a shaft with 16 iron pipes, driven 100 feet into the ground. Currents, vibrations will seize hold of the earth. An endless river, Wardenclyffe will deliver. The planet itself will begin to quiver. No mortal or deity ever imagined or asked, never undertook such a Herculean task. A worldwide free distribution of energy, connecting all the corners of the globe, wherever you may be. Whoa! No mortal or deity ever imagined or asked, never undertook such a Herculean task. A worldwide free distribution of energy, connecting all the corners of the globe, wherever you may be. Whoa! Wherever you, whoa! never quit. What don't these guys get? They are tearing down Wardenclyffe. 3, 6, 9, living life by the numbers. To achieve a great result is one thing. To achieve it at the right time is another. Television transmissions, movies, images sent simultaneously. Telephone calls, pictures, seeing and hearing one another instantaneously. Warning signals, messages, SOSs will be flying through the ether. And all JP Morgan could ask was, where is the meter? No mortal or deity ever imagined or asked. Never undertook such a Herculean task. A worldwide free distribution of energy, connecting all the corners of the globe, wherever you may be. No mortal or deity ever imagined or asked. Never undertook such a Herculean task. A worldwide free distribution of energy, connecting all the corners of the globe, wherever you may be. The powers that be. The powers that be. Don't want humanity free. They want all the gold. They never quit. What don't these guys get? They are tearing down Wardenclyffe. No mortal or deity ever imagined or asked. Never undertook such a Herculean task. A worldwide free distribution of energy, connecting all the corners of the globe, wherever you may be. The powers that be don't want humanity free. They want all the gold. They never quit. What don't these guys get? They are tearing down Wardenclyffe.
Unbelievable. And I know I like you telling the story, because this is like you audibly telling it, getting people that don't know quite some of the details. This is where you get to look forward to it at the concert. But it sounds to me like the concert also is this awesome A to Z story that you can enjoy with the lyrics and the visuals. So, Jason, what is a song that, whether it's in order or out of order, comes to mind right now that you love to perform, that you've, like, as you guys are getting together for the premiere at Delmar Hall, what song's coming to mind?
The first banger for me is Light It Up, the beginning. It was the second song of the show. The prominence of the female in this show, you can't have Nikola Tesla Light It Up without that. And Stacy and I, we work really well together. She's an incredible performer.
I wave my hands in front of my eyes to see what was real or if my mind was adrift. What I thought was an affection turned out to be a gift. Sensing the power of visualization, illuminating flashes with no hallucinations. Only a receiver to the great unknown, a celestial connection on a cosmic phone. create and wonder are all in the public domain. An unlimited repertoire plays in my brain. Harnessing the sun can't be that tough. I just hadn't thought hard enough. I can feel the presence of the powers that be. Mount Olympus is contacting me. Cosmic communications, energy, frequency, and vibrations. Power pulsating from pole to pole, unleashing the world's electrical soul. Exclaim to Erebus, enough's enough. From now to forever, let's light it up. Let's light it up. You can't do that because it can't be done, the fools would say. Those who came to scoff would remain to pray. Cosmic communications, energy, frequency, and vibrations. Power pulsating from pole to pole, unleashing the world's electrical soul. Exclaim to Erebus, enough's enough. From now to forever, let's light it up. Let's light it up.
I think that Light It Up rocks. And lyrically, again, it's very insightful. You've done a lot of work. You've done years of research, and you see it in every line.
Jason, I'm not joking. You have no idea how much that means to me to hear you say that.
Oh, it's a beautiful score. And saying, as it's come full circle for the band, when we stepped into getting a Spotify playlist and just baby stepping through it. And then it got up on its legs and everybody's running with it now. And we're going through the bang, bang, bang. We're playing the tunes back to back and we're really digging it. We're like, oh, I didn't realize that nuance. Oh, we could do that there. Oh, this is like nerding.
Yeah, the one song.
You're on the right podcast.
So-
Just so you know, this is like why we got down in this basement to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah, the one song "Presence," which is actually one of my favorite songs from the show, and when he never married, but Tesla never married, but he was actually in love with his best friend's wife. His best friend's wife was Katherine Johnson. And it was a platonic kind of thing. But she loved Tesla. Tesla loved her. But her husband loved Tesla too. They saw him for the true, unbelievable genius and humanitarian that he was. And when she died, he was absolutely devastated. Anyway, the night that she died, he was living at the New Yorker hotel room 3327 at the New Yorker. And a white dove appeared on his windowsill that night that she died. And he felt that was her coming back to check on him.
Yeah.
And she would come back and check on him every night. At the time, and he even said in his writings that he had total communication with that dove, and that whole song was one of my absolute favorites to write, and it's actually a conversation between the two. is a conversation between the dove and Tesla. And how would you know where to find me? How could you know where I am? Then he sets out room 3327 at the New Yorker, high above the roar of Manhattan. And then the one part of the song goes, a genius, she says to him, a genius should be fearless. He goes, but I'm frightened to the bone. He says, but she said, but you've lived your life in electric dreams. And then he gives, which I think is so cool, which is a direct quote from him. He gives the secret of invention. And you know what I put that in the song. And he said, and the secret of invention is be alone.
Be alone.
And I went, whoa. That's one of my favorite songs. But anyway, I'll talk about that just a minute, because on the chorus of the song, and it goes, wherever we are together is where we reside. Home is not a place. And I wrote, it's something we find. Mm-hmm. And I was writing this thing, and I'd written the song, rewritten the song 20 times. And I went down there, and I got all of it together, and I went, home. It's a place. It's where we reside. A home is not a place. It's something we find. And I just hated. I hated that word something. I just couldn't say it's something. What does something mean? Something means nothing. Nothing means something. So I'm sitting there and I'm typing it into my final thing. I said, well, I'll just go with it, because the title of the song was going to be the Love You Bring was the title of the song, which is the last line of the chorus. And I said, no, I can't. And I can't do it. So I'm typing in. So as I'm typing in for the first time, I pull out my thesaurus. And thesaurus, and I look at it, I thought, there has to be a different word for something in the world, So I looked up and I said, thesaurus, what's it, and I looked up and it said, essence, which is a thing, or presence. I went, oh my God.
There you go.
That's it. And that completely transformed the song. Wherever we are together, that's where we reside. Where home is not a place. It's a presence we find.
Yeah.
And that completely changed the song. That became the title of the song.
A cry recognized, traveling across the sky, calling me to you.
Tonight is every night to see if you are alright. That is what doves do.
How were you able to find me? How could you know where I am?
Room 3033 at the New Yorker, high above the roar of Manhattan.
A genius should be fearless,
Yet I am frightened to the bone.
you spent your life in electric dreams.
The secret of invention is be alone. Wherever we are together is where we reside. Wherever we are together is where we reside. Home is not a place, it's a presence we find. When the last words are spoken, when the story is written, the greatest gift ever envisioned is the power to return the love that we've been given. Wherever we are together is where we reside. Home is not a place, it's a presence we find. When the last words are spoken, when the story is written, the greatest gift ever envisioned is the power to return the love that we've been given. The greatest gift ever envisioned is the power to return the love that we've been given.
And it was just like I had, like this, you must think I'm crazy here because I tear, because
See your passion, and,
yeah,
and
my
people are going to be
yeah. This
hearing
one
a
friend of
little
mine
bit of
said,
that one right
I was
now.
reading this one article with this one songwriter, and he said, if I'm not crying when I'm crying when I'm writing it down, I throw it away. And I went, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you're not moved by your own work, it's not
Right,
going to be.
so
It's not going to move anybody else.
and I
it
just
sounds
can't. For
moving.
Stacy and Jason, they are going to pound that song out.
Oh,
How's it going, Jason?
it's going really well.
You
And
guys are coming up. I mean, this is just a couple weeks out now. This countdown's finally here.
Standing on My Grave is my number 2. That one vocally is a super challenge for me, and yeah, when you hear it, you'll completely
that was the coolest.
realize.
That was one that's why I started, and that was kind of one of the last songs I wrote.
That's
And,
the Standing
you know,
on My Grave.
Yeah, and I thought at the end, because people loved him, people hated him, all this other kind of stuff, and I thought wouldn't it be interesting, like for anybody really, just to come back after you're dead and just walk around your own funeral and see listen to what everybody's saying about you. I thought, wouldn't that be kind of interesting to do? So then I thought, well, we're going to write that in the song. So we wrote that a song called "Standing on My Grave," and then and one of the direct quotes from him, which actually blew me away. He actually wrote in his writings. He said that he goes, I don't care, because he was left with nothing, and they stole everything from him. Everything, whatever was left over, he didn't give away. They stole from him, and he said, he got back at him, and he said, I don't care that they stole my ideas. I care that they had none of their own. And I went, wow,
Yeah.
Nikola, what a deal. I mean, so it's so you had to put that in the song.
And people will hear a little bit of that one right now, Standing on My Grave.
I imagine a day like any other. The sunrise a muted red. The only difference from yesterday is I'll be dead. Pallbearers, priests, hearsed in processions, coffin and candles, no more earthly possessions. What all this means, can't figure this funeral thing out. You'd think we'd have it down a little better by now. Praised and criticized by friend and foe, even from people I've never known. I don't care that they stole my ideas. I care they had none of their own. Wizard or warlock, knight or knave, wonder what they'll say standing on my grave. Wizard or warlock, knight or knave, wonder what they'll say standing on my grave. I'll be reincarnated as a stranger, an old friend of the deceased, to pay my final respects to myself in hopes I can somehow now rest in peace. The last rites are about to begin. Wonder, is there an afterlife, or is this really the end? No immediate family, no next of kin. My inventions, my offspring are my children. Wizard or warlock, knight or knave, wonder what they'll say standing on my grave.
And then, we don't have to go through all of them. I would say, let's do this. If you could name one more song, Mark,
Okay.
let's talk about one more song
Okay.
that people can get a little teaser of.
Got it.
And then we'll do a little bit of What's one more song you could tease out for
Yeah,
us?
this one is you gotta know is I'm the original Wizard of Oz, and that song is just my research into this absolutely blew me away. And the more that I kept looking into it, the more I found out about it, the more true it was. The Nikola Tesla beat out Thomas Edison with his alternating current to light the 1893 Columbian Exhibition. And when Edison did not get that bid, he was mad as hell. And in fact, he refused to sell Tesla and Westinghouse his incandescent bulb that he needed to light the Midway and to light the World's Fair. So Tesla and Westinghouse had to invent a new light bulb overnight. They called it the double stopper light bulb. And in fact, it wasn't as good as the incandescent light bulb, and they actually had to change out, I'm not joking, they had to change out 200,000 light bulbs every night. Can you imagine? And anyway, Tesla was in Chicago that night on May 1st, 1893, and he threw the switch that lit up 200,000 light bulbs at once. As they said, it was the greatest display of lighting the history of the world had ever seen. And you know who was in the crowd that night on the Midway that witnessed all this? His name was L. Frank Baum, and he was what? The writer of The Wizard of Oz. And he remembered that night when he wrote The Wizard of Oz around the turn of the century, and that became his inspiration for the Emerald City. So we can say without fear of any reprisal whatsoever that Nikola Tesla truly is the original Wizard of Oz.
Welcome to the World's Fair, the Columbian exhibition. I have a gift for everyone here tonight, straight from my imagination. The second I throw this switch, 200,000 lights will be lit, one for every millennial of mankind who cursed the night, waiting for the sun to rise. Attention all in the court of honor, to Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Who have ever dreamt of an Emerald City? Seth has been dealt the fatal blow. Fountain shooting skyward as cannons sound. The first American automobile, George Ferris's new spinning wheel. Electric sun will rise at night, illuminating the Champs-Élysées. The streets of Rome, Piccadilly Square, the lights on Broadway, beckoning Dorothy, Tin Man, Lion and Scarecrow to the end of the yellow brick road. The Merlin behind the curtain, the electrical god. I am the original Wizard of Oz. Handel's Hallelujah, you are a witness to impossible dreams. The most spectacular display of light the world has ever seen. Time to celebrate, but no time to rest. You can't imagine what happens next. The greatest inventions lay just ahead. I just haven't thought of them yet. What Thor and Zeus could not create, light it up, we must not wait. Electric sun will rise at night, illuminating the Champs-Élysées. The streets of Rome, Piccadilly Square, the lights on Broadway, beckoning Dorothy, Tin Man, Lion and Scarecrow to the end of the yellow brick road. The Merlin behind the curtain, the electrical god. I am the original Wizard of Oz. The Merlin behind the curtain, the electrical god. I am the original Wizard of Oz.
And you got a song to back it up that you're going to hear
Yep.
the Jason Nelson Band rock out to as well. I mean, this is, like we said, a rock opera, and we'll end with where to get those tickets. But, Jason, what else can you tell people about what to expect from the night? And just based on how you and the band are feeling, you guys are have a big countdown, happening right now.
Oh yeah, the community I have seen from social media, from personal interaction at my shows over the last 2 months, they've really stepped up and gotten behind this. Not many local St. Louis bands or artists do a thing like this. It's very unique. And this is a classic rock town. St. Louis, Missouri is home of KC95. And if you're a fan of that, if you're a fan of so many genres that are tied into this show. So it has, I believe, something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the songs pivot from one to the next. It keeps you really engaged. Musically, I've had a great time doing this. And when I tell people about it, they're like, "Oh, I get it now."
I got it from day one, just so you know, seeing the promos. And I feel like if you're a historian, music fan, St. Louis rock fan, going to Delmar Hall fan, like if any of these things check your box, you go and then you're gonna go there and you're gonna check another box. You might become a historian. You might become like a rock lover. I've been singing the Light It Up song like around the house.
Oh,
like
thank you so much. I love that. The one thing I want to say about the community getting behind it, and I'm going to say you go to our website on the front page of our website.
That is TeslaLightItUp.com. Yeah.
And you go to our website and you're going to see the Roots FM. It's a local radio station. John Stevens started it. They have gotten behind us. They're playing us all on our songs on the air right now. And ready to hear this? And Jason knows this. They are going to be broadcasting live to the world that night, June 20th. So you come by, you can be a part of this. Actually, it's an international event. They're going to be here live, not live from New York. It's going to be live from Delmar Hall, buddy.
But it's still Saturday night, right? June 20th.
June 20th.
And I was thinking this is like, this is like just like when Nikki Glaser films her special down at the Fox.
Right.
It makes it out on Netflix. You got a live stream. Like it's going to be documented. And it is the world premiere.
Yeah.
And I know that you have big goals and ambitions, and based on the traveling museums and spectacles that you've put on in the past, I heard you say on some recent interviews, which I want to shout, those out. You were on Studio STL. You were on the corner St. Louis STL TV.
Yes.
You were on their channel. Heard you on some other podcasts. The Sphere is something that you have in your purview.
I want to go there. I tag that guy every time. I tag the Sphere every time on my post.
Yeah.
And another thing, they said that I'm trying to get Elon Musk there, and I said, how in the world can you not do that? Anyway, on X, they say he reads it X, so I tag him on.
Well, yeah,
everyone.
he owns it, so he's reading them.
Right. So I tag him on every one. Hopefully,
that and the Sphere.
Yeah, and the Sphere.
And
right.
then I would say like that's the big common. I would say whether you know it or not, Nikola Tesla, the connection to the Tesla company. That's their namesake. Is that right?
Right.
Nikola Tesla's the namesake.
He's the namesake.
And it comes back to that. He invented the AC.
Alternating current.
Right. And and I would say I wanted to shout out like other like highlights. Like no one knows better than you, Mark. So please let us know like what are some Nikola Tesla highlights. Like if he was the MVP of doing a certain few things, you could rattle them off. Tell us.
He invented. You can. The thing that I want you, when you leave the Delmar Hall on Saturday night, June the 20th, when you look up and you're going to see the street lamp, you're going to look at the light differently than you saw before you walked in. Mm-hmm. He invented the reason that we turn on the light switch, the light we have all these machines in our house, these electric machines in our house, the fact that he invented neon light, he invented X-ray, he invented. He goes when the
radio, right?
Radio. He invented radio, and that's true. That
the coil, the Tesla coil.
But that radio, going back to the radio,
yeah.
He invented all that, and Marconi copied 27 or 17 or 20 of his patents when he got the radio, and they eventually took the radio patent away from Marconi, and they gave it back to Tesla. Unfortunately, it was after he died.
Yeah, and it was like Marconi came out with this stuff. This is help from the TeslaScienceCenter.org.
Right.
And they say that Marconi came out with his patent in 1904, while Tesla had filed his as early as 1897.
Oh, right. And he had and the cool
That's a
thing,
long time. It's 15 years early. That's like coming up with Reese's peanut butter cups 20 years late.
Right. Oh, and I was just on there. Just really quick.
Please, we're fine. If you guys are fine, I'm fine.
Yeah. One last story
That's fine.
about St. Louis. Tesla has a direct connection to St. Louis.
Please.
He had he would go on. He always needed money. He invented road shows. He had road shows that he would travel around the country doing. He had cork shoes on. He'd walk with cork shoes. He had volts of electricity going through him, and his eyes would light up. They said it was absolutely the most amazing thing you'd ever seen. And he took it on a road show around the country. Well, he got it to St. Louis Exhibition Hall, which is actually where St. Louis City Public Library is downtown right now.
Oh yeah.
And he did the whole show. They said it was standing room only to this point of suffocation, and they said it was he had lightning coming through him and out of it, and he was throwing it in the air. They said it was unbelievable. And at the end of the show, he went out to the library to do a meet and greet, as they did. Anyway, he was literally mobbed when he got to the when he got out to the meet and greet here in St. Louis, and he was so afraid. And he was kind of a very personal guy,
Private guy. He liked to be alone and invent.
Yeah, exactly right. He was very introspective. Anyway, it scared the hell out of him when all these people started to judge. Anyway, it was the last show he ever did. So the last road show that Tesla ever did was right here in St. Louis, where our St. Louis City Public Library is right now.
Wow. You just made me realize, I think, that there's like a big inspiration for a big scene that I like in the Marvel TV show Loki. And they did a flashback to a different time in the 1800s, and they had a character that put one of these displays of electrical equipment, and he got mobbed after he presented it to the world, and he's a fictional character.
Gotcha.
I'm sure they ripped this right out of Nikola Tesla's bio.
I'm sure, right.
I'm telling you, now that you're telling me this, and we know it wasn't that, that asshole.
Right.
His rival, Edison.
Yeah, Edison.
That asshole. I never knew I'd think of Edison as an asshole, but I guess I am. Okay. This is really great. And I feel your passion as well. It's no wonder why the two of you guys teamed up. Jason Nelson Band with Mark Rodgers. This is your guys' collaboration that is really ending in a experience for people here in town, and this could just be the beginning of something big. So Packing the House, Delmar Hall. They get the pageant, St. Louis website. Google the pageant, Delmar Hall, TeslaLightItUp.com. We also have links to all this at mostlysuperheroes.com. I've been following you guys on the socials.
And we just came out with some general admission tickets.
Right.
So you can get some general admission tickets, and also you can save money by buying right at the Delmar Hall box office.
At the box office,
you can save those fees, those ticketing fees, if you run by.
So go through the website, and also on Ticketmaster. Yep, absolutely.
But you can save those fees if you go through the
box office at Delmar Hall.
Yeah.
And you played Delmar before?
I have.
Yeah, so you'll be back again.
I have. Yeah, it's a great room.
It's a great room. You guys will be there June 20th. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Logan,
Thank you. Been absolutely fantastic. You've been a huge support of us from the very beginning, and a shout out to you guys and all the work that you do here in St. Louis.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I mean, you guys, thank you for coming and helping an independent promotional channel. You guys, I'll be transparent. Like, you guys came with some of your marketing, and we got to figure out ways to make those work, and then the byproduct and like the fun things that come after we get going is this podcast here, getting to meet you guys in person, and then seeing your show in person, and then knowing that you're doing the live broadcast that night. And you've got your listening book, you got the music out there everywhere to enjoy. It's Nikola Tesla, Light It Up. That's right, go check it out. And before we wrap up, do this for me again. This will be the third and final time. Tell me your name and your title in life.
Yeah, I'm Mark Rodgers. I'm the writer, producer, composer for the Nikola Tesla Light It Up rock opera.
Jason Nelson, principal member of the Jason Nelson Band, performing Nikola Tesla Light It Up at Delmar Hall.
Tell me about your other bands again and where you perform around town.
Thank you. Jason Nelson Band, The Retro Nerds, 120 Minutes, Stifler's Mom, my Queen tributes, Somebody to Love, Tangerine, my Led Zeppelin tribute, REM, The Cure, so many shows. Always busy, always traveling, doing musical things. So thanks for having us.
Mark, you got a real pro here to help bring the music to life. And Retro Nerds, I feel like maybe I saw, did you guys ever play at Red Flag?
Yes.
I feel like, did you ever play for like a agency party?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a great party.
People were, I feel like we all got after it. If we were all there at the same time, it was you had a great performance. It was a great party.
Yes. I remember that.
I guess I have actually
vividly
seen you. I was hoping I was like, I've surely seen you. I'm one of those guys that's like been around St. Louis long enough at this point where I've probably seen you like 10 times. And I didn't know the name. And I'm just like, they're rocking. But now I'm going to go see Jason Nelson Band play Tesla Light It Up.
Yes.
At Delmar Hall.
Thank you.
June 20th. Thank you guys so much for both coming in. Really appreciate you, Jason. Thanks for coming. And come back and see us. Would you hang out again?
Absolutely.
What about you, Mark?
We'd absolutely love to.
Come get nerdy. We kind of get nerdy. This was kind of like the fire hydrant.
Yes.
I'm glad it was about the show, but now that the door's open, maybe we'll see you guys again. And it sounds like you guys are the types of folks that who knows what kind of crazy fun thing you're working on. Which is awesome. That's our kind of stuff.
Something always happening.
You guys said your names. I'm Logan Giannis. That's Mostly Superheroes, the podcast. It's at mostlysuperheroes.com.
Yay!
Take it easy.
Woo!
That's a wrap. That's it.
Thank you.
You did great, Logan.
Thank you, guys. Mostly Superheroes is proud to be funded in part by our sponsors. Mostly Superheroes is funded in part by paying patrons who receive early, ad-free, and exclusive episodes. Subscribe at mostlysuperheroes.com/support. Thank you for supporting your favorite independent podcast. Mostly Superheroes is an independent podcast owned and operated by Kerrigan Ventures in St. Louis, Missouri. Hosted by Logan Janis, Andy Hunn, and Scott Swearingen. Brand and creative by Carrie Clark Design. Music by Audionautics. Learn more at audionautics.com. Find more at mostlysuperheroes.com.